From the time we're born, we embark on the unavoidable journey toward the end of our lives. And though we do all we can to avoid it, we are inclined to have a genuine curiosity about it. Which one of us hasn't wondered what death will be like? Will there be pain? And who will be there? To that question, for over a decade, one local agency has answered, we will.
Intake, you have a call on line 8. Intake, line 8.
Well, in any given month, we care for approximately 200 to 250 individual clients. In any given day, there are 120 to 160 patients on service.
Janet Jeffrey is the administrator for Hospice Partners of the Central Coast.
We have chosen a mission of taking anybody and everybody who knocks on our door who desires our help and meets the criteria and eligibility for services, whether they can pay for them or whether they can't. So no one's turned away. And even if we're not able to deliver the service that they need and want, we don't turn them away, we'll direct them to another resource. So I think that makes us very distinct.
Some years ago, Dodie Williams got involved with Hospice Partners as a member of its advisory board. When her 91-year-old mother became ill, Dodie experienced firsthand the critical care and comfort that Hospice Partners provides.
She couldn't eat. She wasn't eating any longer. She wasn't drinking much. Her body was shutting down on her, and that's a very painful process. And so with the aid of Hospice Partners and the medications they could provide for her, and the nurses who came even to come and hold her hand and sit with her for a while, that made her passing so much easier.
Established in 1998, Hospice Partners provides end-of-life care 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. The goal is keeping patients as pain and symptom-free as possible, with family members and friends often actively involved in caregiving. This means that patients are often able to die in the familiar surroundings of their home, near the things and the people they love most. Sally Packard is a nurse with Hospice Partners. She says being at home is ideal, but circumstances don't always allow for it.
Well, the ideal situation is they do get to stay home, but it just doesn't happen that way sometimes. So you have an elderly couple, the husband is failing, the children, even if they're loving, kind children, they have developed their lives in other areas of the country, out of state, and they have full-time jobs, and they can't stop everything to come be with them toward the end of their life. And yet the elderly caregiver, the wife or the husband, can't take care of them either. And sometimes the pain or the symptom control is more than they can handle.
The fact is, about 15% of Hospice Partners patients will require admittance to an acute care facility like a hospital or nursing home, usually due to pain management or other complications. For dying patients and their families, this can add some tough challenges to an already difficult time.
If they're full, we may not be able to get a client into their beds. And so, and the beds are not dedicated hospice beds. They're not set up for families to be doing vigils there. They'll let families stay overnight, but there's not a comfortable place for them to sleep. It's not home-like.
Because they go into a room with other patients, so we can't really have our musician in there. Sometimes the other patients want the TV on. There's just no peace in those places.
We have made the decision that we are wanting to open our own dedicated inpatient unit. That can be, the rooms can look like bedrooms, and they don't have to have metal and a lot of, you know, that kind of hospital bed. We'll have more homey like hospital beds. We'll have a pull-out bed where families can stay the night. We'll have a garden that they can be rolled out to enjoy. We'll have dedicated staffing who are hospice people that can take care of them. So it'll be a pleasant, comfortable place that people can get end-of-life care, but it'll be acute care.
Utilizing strategic partnerships, inpatient hospice care will be the focus of a three-phase project. Phase 1, opening in the fall of 2010, will be located in San Luis Obispo and consist of a 9-bed inpatient acute care unit that'll include 7 spacious suites, some with private baths. This unit will provide a warm and dignified environment for patients and families, surrounding them with the comforts of home.
You're going to know that your loved one is getting the same kind of care that they would get in one of the acute care hospitals, but they're going to be in a home-like, comfortable setting with 24-hour care from the Hospice Partners care team. The people who typically need inpatient care, if somebody's pain is out of control and they need a lot of IV therapy and different things like that to control it, it's a tough thing for lay caregivers to handle with just sporadic and intermittent help. But we can do it very well in a controlled environment like a hospital. And we make this hospital look like a home.
Well, we have an aging population, and more people are going to need end-of-life care. Sometimes the family can provide it, generally up to a point, and then it's beyond what the family can actually care for. Had we had the inpatient facility available for my mother, I would think she probably would have spent her last week to 10 days there, because she was becoming very ill. She was in a lot of pain. She couldn't eat. And the facility where she was living wasn't equipped to handle that kind of a client. So I think that her best move at that juncture would have been going to an inpatient facility, even for a short period of time. And they don't anticipate that that will be used for long stays. Typically, it will not be. But for that short block of time, it would have given her a much easier few days.
If asked, most people will tell you they'd like to grow old and die in their sleep. But the truth is, many of us will see and feel the end of our lives approaching from a distance. For more than a decade, Hospice Partners has maintained a commitment to help people and families with the kind of compassionate medical and emotional care that enables them to face end-of-life issues together. It really isn't so much about death, but life and choice and dignity. So for every patient that's allowed Hospice Partners to be a part of their lives, for every donor, contributor, for every volunteer and employee, we stand together ready to open a new door to new possibilities in end-of-life care. Please, join us as we open the door to Hospice Partners inpatient care in San Luis Obispo. Because dying happens on the last day. Every other day is about living.